intelligent talk that's sure to raise the IQ.
Here's Guy Wehman, Ben Brunson, and Frank Vernuccio inside the news.
Welcome back to our second segment of Inside the News for this week. And we've got Ben Brunson, Frank Vernuccio, myself, Guy Wehman. All right, Ben, we are looking at several world markets all across the globe. And China, it's up there. We've got Russia, they're in trouble. Argentina with the pesos, they're in trouble. South America, and they just assassinated someone running on the anti-corruption plan. And Ben, take over, go.
A lot going on in South America these days. And Ecuador, unfortunately, and this is a country that's near and dear to my heart. My brother-in-law is Ecuadorian, and my daughter actually lived in Quito for a while. It's a beautiful country, but it has become, unfortunately, a drug trafficking hub. And there is cartel violence that is very similar. If you lived through the heyday of the Colombian cartel wars in the early 90s, it's not quite that bad, but it's getting close to it. The latest is a leading candidate, Fernando Villavicencio, who was assassinated, but he's only one of many politicians who have been killed in Ecuador recently, including a mayor of a big city, and the killers of Fernando are Colombians. So these are Colombian cartel hitmen who came into Ecuador. And, obviously they're targeting politicians who are trying to run on an anti-drug cartel platform. So it's particularly bad. Interestingly, in Argentina, which has a history of inflation, they tend to inflate the Argentine peso. Inflation's running at about 100% a year there. You have a very Trump-like populist who unexpectedly emerged as a leading candidate for president, Javier Milei, and he's very iconoclastic, very very reminiscent of Trump, and he is emerging as a very strong candidate. He is arguing for Argentina to adopt the U.S. dollar as its official currency and abandon the peso. It would become one of the many countries like Zimbabwe, when faced with worthless currency at home, that has adopted either officially or de facto the U.S. dollar as their currency. So the dollar is actually slowly but surely becoming the global currency around the world, not the Chinese yuan. And so all those who are afraid that the dollar is about to get replaced by the Chinese yuan, I don't think you need to worry, because China is a mess, and it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better there.
Okay, Frank, China's a mess. Perfect lead in for you, Frank. Go.
Well, if you look at the difference between China's economic problems and America's economic problems, it's kind of fascinating. America's economic problems can be fixed with responsible government and decent policies. China's problems are kind of baked in the cake after years of mismanagement and so forth. There are whole towns in China which were built, expected to become major centers of commerce or an enterprise. They're laying fallow. You have ghost cities in China the way you have ghost towns in the Old West in the United States. The fact of the matter is, socialist or communist economic policies don't work. It is fascinating that you have, the Bernie Sanders and the progressives in the United States who look at every example over the past 23 years or so of socialist policies across the planet, have failed in every inhabited continent, every place where they've been tried, and those are the policies they want to bring here to the United States. It is irrational. It is insane. You have a country like Venezuela, awash in an ocean of oil. It should be one of the most prosperous nations on the face of the planet. Their people are starving. They can't get medical supplies. They can't get food. The average weight of a Venezuelan has dropped. I believe the last statistic I saw was 20 to 25%. It's probably worse than that now. But those are the policies that the progressives and the Democrats want to bring to the United States. It's the basis of Bidenomics. It doesn't make any sense. It's a clear lesson to us, but it's a lesson neither the Democrats nor the media seem to be learning.
Okay, Saudi Arabia, they're putting a war against us as well. And the oil, they have kind of said, okay, we're going to kind of adjust things so we can make some more money. Joe Biden went down there, said, give us your oil. And they went, yet. Now, that's a Russian term, yet, but they said, we're not doing it, Joe.
Well, look, the Saudis work in for their own benefit and interests. They attempt to maintain a stable global market at a profitable price of oil, which they're comfortable around the $80 per barrel range. So when it gets below $80, they will try to cut back production to bring the market back into their view of what balance should be. The issue is we gave them that position. All right, we made them the price leaders and the market makers under Joe Biden. Under Donald Trump, they lost that position. It was the United States that was setting the global market price and was dictating terms to the rest of the world because we were producing all the oil that we needed and exporting plenty of it. That all ended under Joe Biden, who gave a little known speech to the Weather Channel where he said what he really desires is to shut down all offshore drilling in this country, the Gulf of Mexico, off the Atlantic, off the Pacific. He wants it all shut down. That sums up where he's at. And he lamented that only those evil courts stepped in to stop him from implementing his vision of a oil-free America. An oil-free America would be a bankrupt America in which we would have poverty on a level that would make the Great Depression, look like a swim in the pool. This is insane politics, insane policy. It is driven by a death cult called the Global Warming Alliance. And they would love to see the population of this earth halved. And they state it openly these days. You can listen to Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum and the nutcases that back him. It's a pretty dark place that we're in. I think you'll see more populists like Donald Trump come along because people are starting to wake up and vote around the world for a change in direction.
That was Ben Brunson, the author of The Falstaff Enigma and Esther Sling. You can find Ben at benbrunson.com and amazon.com. Frank Vernuccio with the American Analysis of News and Media. USAGovPolicy.com is his website. We have a whole lot more coming up. And boy, oh boy, stay tuned because, well, what about Kamala Harris and word salads? You know what? Get out your salad dressing. Plus the proof of ballot stuffing in Michigan. It just continues all over the place. There's corruption everywhere you turn. Well, not here. This is Wehman, Brunson and Vernuccio Inside the News. We'll be back.
You're listening to Wehman, Brunson and Vernuccio Inside the News.